And up here at the top right, I guess the mid-right of the map, is none other than our favorite, our hero. It is Startail Bomber. And down here in the bottom left, I guess again the bottom middle, I guess you could say, is our underdog from the team TSL. It is Hart. And by the way, Hart, this is not his first time he's been on GOMTV. Well, obviously he's been in the Team League a couple times, but he also actually, just a little trivia bit about him, he actually played in the GOM Classic Season 2 and 3 in Brood War, back in Brood War, back when Tasteless was casting those Brood War tournaments here on GOMTV. So a little bit of a trivia about him. Of course, Bomber was a, I wouldn't say successful, but a known, I would say, a Brood War player as well. Back in the day, he was called NSP Fancy. And he was never successful in individual leagues in Brood War, but he was able to play in the team league sometimes and did pretty well. Obviously faring much, much better here in StarCraft 2. Hart was named, I believe he went by Link back then as well. So maybe he's got a Legend of Zelda theme going on for himself or something like that. Link and Hart, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Bomber, oh, back to what I was saying earlier. Bomber, I've been doubting him a little bit lately because he just hasn't been performing as well as he needed to really succeed. But man, the other day in the team league, you know, sometimes there's a man and he's the man for his time and place, and his name was Bomber last week in the team league, and his place was the team league, and it was just an amazing, amazing performance. He definitely restored my faith in Bomber's ability to play well against the top level players. Just showed dominating skill. And by the way, of course, we did have this kind of extra, this proxy racks, Macarax, I guess you could say. I'll have to ask Artosis if it counts as a Macarax if it's only the one barracks. Usually it's the second barracks in your natural that counts as the Macarax. Anyway, he's hiding his barracks over here, whereas Bomber has gone for Command Center first. Very, very gutsy strategy, which we are seeing Hart is going to try and take advantage of by sending this Marine over there to do some harassment. He scouted that very quickly. Bomber, as we can see, has not scouted at all. And you know, the thing is when you're going for Command Center first, the reason we don't see him scouting very early is when you're going for Command Center first, you're only going to be back. You just do defenses as soon as possible, and that's why we see him getting these two barracks very quickly, and then the third shortly after that, in order to get some units out to defend himself. The third option is that they've gone Command Center first as well, in which case, again, it doesn't actually matter, because, well, then you're not in any danger. SCV is going to try and come in here and scout, and it's going to see nothing before getting eliminated, and just, you know, gets picked off by the Marines, doesn't see anything at all. And of course, we did see that we have a lot of tech going down here, and that was just so far away that Bomber has no idea what's going on. And if he does scan, it's going to be really tough for him to actually see that. And a nice little wall of Marines here to make sure no SCVs sneak in there. Of course, he could, you know, theoretically go around the side with an SCV if he knew that wall was there. But anyway, point being, he is going to have to deal with these Banshees that are coming from Hart with Marines alone, because that is all he has. He has no other tech at all. Just gotten a gas and is just about to get 50 gas, and is probably going to maybe build a tech lab, and there it goes. So he can start getting some upgrades on those Marines. And there's the scan. Look at that. Sees nothing. Bomber sees nothing at all. He sees the gas. No, actually, he did see the two gases, so he knows something's up in that sense. But again, you know, we often see players get two gases after a fast expand, so he doesn't know if that's the case either. Here he is, comes in with some Marines, and look at this. Hart actually almost has as many Marines. Oh, sorry about that. Lost control of my mouse for a second there. And now the jig is up. The Banshee is out. The Marines are out. The tank is chasing as well. Bomber had a real big advantage with these early Marines getting the economy going, but he has thrown it away by basically throwing away his Marines, and now Bomber has almost nothing. 8 Marines to his name. He is producing some. He's got a Marauder in the mix as well. Because he's seen that tank. He started producing that Marauder. Even though it's obviously not going to be very good against the Banshees, he needs as many Marines as possible to deal with the Banshees. He saw that tank, though, and so he knows that there's probably not going to be Cloak, because even though there was 2 gas there in the main, there's probably not going to be not going to have enough gas to get Cloak along with the tanks and the Banshees. Here comes that first Banshee coming in. It has 6 kills on it already. Some of those were the Marine kills, but it's getting a ton of SCV kills before these Marines can get back here. And Combat Shields is not even done for Bomber yet. It looks like Hart may in fact get revenge for match number 1, for game number 1, and might be able to tie up this series here. It's going to be close. The Banshee is doing a lot of damage, but again, Bomber does have the 2 command centers, so even though he's losing SCVs, he actually still has more SCVs than Hart does. But the thing is does he have the units to deal with it? Hart has more of everything. There's a couple Marauders in play if he can get a good attack on those tanks, but no, he's sieging up behind. He's got a very strong position. He can see this bunker. He can hit the bunker with the tanks. If he can get vision, he's moved that Banshee forward. There he goes, so he can get vision of it. And look at this, he's even blocking things off, building his own bunkers here. The Marines are behind to protect from any attacks from the high ground. He's forced to salvage that bunker. He's going in. Needs to be very careful. Bomber bringing everything off the line. This is his one last stand to try and break this contain. Marines going down very quickly, but he's able to hide that bunker now. The tank's getting so much damage done. And will the Banshees be able to polish things off? It looks like, yes, they will force him back. Only Marauders left are not going to be able to do anything against those Banshees, although they did do a very good job in clearing up those tanks, but not quick enough. Those tanks got so many shots off before they died. They were able to damage the army of Bomber so much that now Bomber is at a supply disadvantage and almost at he's only even in SCVs right now. These Banshees raining down on everything. It's going to be so tough for Bomber to break this containment. He's got a bunker and a tank there. He's got Marines. He's got the Banshees doing damage as well. They can just fall back to the defensive position. The tanks are set up in such a way that if the Marines get anywhere near those Banshees, then they can just get taken out by the tanks. This is a really strong position here for Hart. Hart is just producing off these 3 buildings still. That's all he's doing. This is a really strong rush that he's got going here. Can Bomber defeat it? He's stemming in with, sorry, not stemming in. He's just going in with the Marines. The Marauders attacking the Marines instead of focusing the tanks. The tanks getting a lot of shots off. Is it going to be enough though? All the Marines are dead and the Banshees survive. Just a couple Marines left rather. And the SCV's have been killed off, so he can't repair that Banshee, but Hart is still doing so much damage. And again, with those Marauders just can't do anything to them. Bomber really needs to focus a little bit more in these attacks on focusing down those tanks with the Marauders, though. He's been attacking Marines with them and not doing as much as he can, and the tanks are getting off so many shots that it's just really has been tough. Stim is about to complete for Bomber, though. It is going to complete. These Banshees are not we're not able to stop that from happening. A strong attempt there, but he brought off some SCVs earlier and repaired it. Another bunker going down here. This is a nice little pocket that he's got going on. And again, these Banshees can just do whatever they want. They're forcing buildings to lift and move. Not really getting any kills, though. I really think they should be focusing on SCV kills or killing Marines would be a more advantageous use. And here he comes in with a stim attack this time. This time he does focus down the tank. Is it going to be enough, though? The Marines of Hart slaughtering everything. And again, Hart comes out with the Banshees completely intact to continue their harassment. At this point, he just needs to start killing units. He cannot keep attacking those buildings. He's not doing enough damage with those Banshees. Is he going to be able to repair that bunker? Yes, he is. But another tank has arrived for Hart. And again, Hart, this is an all-in for him. He is, again, I'm keeping an eye on the production tab, not transitioning out at all. Look at that, dropping a mule to repair those Banshees. A really smart move, actually, since he is all in with this. He doesn't need to get his economy going all. He's not producing another command center, but is he going to be able to kill off Bomber with this? Bomber is now producing Marines out of these barracks up here as well. And as you can see, he is actually starting to produce more units. He's producing more Marines. Of course, the tanks are going to be the real kicker. The tanks for Hart are going to be the real decider. But, and as well as the Banshees, he's not being able to do anything about the Banshees. He stims in. Oh no, forced to fall back there. The SCV is being slaughtered again by the Marines on the low ground. Again, doesn't target down the Banshees. They survive, and losing too many SCVs this time. Bomber GG's, and TSL Hart has defeated Bomber and tied up the series. Wow, and that was an amazing performance. Very nicely played by TSL Hart. A very quick little rush there. He positioned everything well. He stopped the scouting information. He hid his building so that Bomber could not scan it to scout it either. And a lot of it did come down to the fact that that Bomber didn't know he was kind of behind, and he sent an attack out and he basically, I think he expected it to be, he didn't see many buildings in hard space. I think he expected it to be like a 1 barracks expand, and he's like, okay, well, I got 3 barracks real quick. I've been producing a lot of units. I got my economy going a little bit faster. I think I'm going to be able to do some damage because I've got a lot of Marines here. At the very least, I'm going to be able to trade, but it was just the wrong moment, exact wrong moment. If he'd waited a little bit longer, his production advantage would have kicked in and he would have had more Marines. But instead, he went just at the time when the constant production out of that 1 barracks was enough for Hart to have an almost even amount of Marines, and with the addition of the tank and the Banshee, it was just a slaughter. And then Bomber was just on the back foot the entire game. He had a couple times where it looked like he might break out of that contain, but you know, he just never killed off the Banshees and never killed off the bunkers and was never able to fully break out of there. And again, I think part of it due to the fact that he wasn't really able to target fire down those tanks. Anyway, we're going to go into game number 3, the deciding game. Game number 3 is going to decide who will advance and who will be completely eliminated from Code A. It's going to be match number 3 on Antigua Shipyards.